So the day I met the king, I need to point out I've never actually met the king. However, I did have a dream, and in that dream I met the king. And I'm not going to go into the dream because that's not what this is about. But there are certain themes within that dream that I kind of I just want to share with you this Saturday morning. So when we look at the king in this dream took on two roles. First of all, I identified him as prince, then as king, and he was working a power washer, washing away, cleaning windows and enjoying it, just laughing maniacally. And then when I turned around again, he was there in front of me, dressed in more priestly robes, and chatting to me about how he would invite me into I could stand in the pulpit if I wanted, so to speak. And that speaks a lot. It speaks a lot. So the main thing I take from this, or the thing that comes to me today as I was pondering it, is how we perceive wisdom. I've spent best part of 40 years now in my own practice exploring wisdom traditions, spiritual paths, magical traditions. And when we start off, authority is in the people writing the books. It's in those people who sadly seem to shout loudest, in those celebrity people of that chosen area and field. And we as human beings naturally, I don't know if it is naturally or whether we're conditioned to perceive wisdom and authority almost, oh, that person is in a place of authority, of perceived power. And that's important, perceived power. So we see that person in perceived power and authority. Therefore, what they say must be right. It must be true. It must be wise. And yet, as we progress along our paths, we start to strip back our structures of reality, our perceptions of what we believe, or we have the choice to. We don't automatically do it. Some people just carry on doing their thing, and that's what they are, and that's what they do. But if you've chosen to truly, and I don't mean in a kind of fluffy new age way, but truly walk that inner path, explore those inner landscapes, you are faced with your beliefs. And some of those beliefs constrain us and hold us, sometimes in a good way, because power needs that container to be effective. Yeah, it needs that container to be effective. But also, we we can be contained too much, in which case the power becomes ineffectual. And what power am I talking about? I'm talking about your power. You know, you want your life to be different. If you want your life to transform, let's face it, it's why quite a lot of people get into magic. I can't get a girlfriend, I can't get a boyfriend. Oh, those outward things are not signs of power. However, to access our true power, and you are enough. You literally, everything, all the power that ever was, is, and will be exists now in this moment within you, literally within you. So this dream spoke to me of power, but it spoke to me of authority and wisdom. And that's the important, I think, at the moment, more important than ever, because we're bombarded with social media and people kind of going, yes, this is the way the world is. And even our politicians, not naming any names, Trump, Farage, telling us absolute lies, but because they're in authority, we believe them. And the magical path, the spiritual path, the mystical path strips away how we perceive these authorities and these establishments, these institutions. It says, actually, that authority out there is an illusion. That look at this will date this, but look at Prince Andrew, sorry, Andrew, now gone from the dizzying heights of a royal to looking like he's about to top himself in the back of a car, having just been arrested on his birthday. His power is only, any power is only transitory. Even our own personal power at some point in our future comes to an end. Our influence can carry on beyond that, but our personal power just We are finite. We are finite. You know, this this one day won't be here. That's the way it is. um, so the power and authority you give people is your choice to give it them, to acknowledge them. When we walk the magical paths, when we walk those paths of inner growth and development, we work on the great work, we strip back those limiting beliefs. We take our frame, our map of reality, and we start shifting it. We start shifting amongst it, and we can shift our perspectives of this. And one of the ways we do that is when we have initiation. Initiation is a great shift in our inner world. Outwardly, you turn up, you do some stuff that's never as scary as you think it's going to be. And that's that. But it's that inner commitment, it's that engagement of what it sets off in here. I mean, initiation isn't your ritual, it isn't your initiation ceremony, it is the life lived after and the way that unfolds. That's your true initiation. So we perceive power in others, we perceive wisdom and truth in authority, but the authorities and the establishment, they don't deal in truth. They give things a shine and make them look glittering gold because it serves them, not because it serves us. And we look outwardly for wisdom. We are persons on TV, they must know what they're talking about. But the further down the magical path you go, the further down, like my personal path, has been very much shaped by Druidry, but I've explored Taoism, I've explored shamanism, I've explored mystical Christianity. Well worth doing, fascinating. Early Celtic Christian spirituality. Wow! If you want a framework to set up your magical practice on and really go somewhere, do it. Literally. So in a bubble, I would call what I my life, my way of being now is a Druidry, but not. I'm not kind of white robed and up and down the tour with mistletoe. Yeah, um, that's Reconstructionism, really, realistically, and all based on the last couple of hundred years of misinformation from archaeology, and early academics going, "Oh, we think it's this," which is fine, but when it changes, move on. So as we go further on to it, as we peel back the layers of the onion skin, so to speak, we start to see and perceive authority differently. You have the power to go, actually, yes, I will place this person in a position of authority and acknowledge that and respect that. You have the power to go, I don't acknowledge that authority. The danger is when we start to look at authority and see it as wisdom. Because wisdom takes our own discernment, it takes our own, I'm trying to think of the word, it'll come to me, insight. Wisdom comes through experience, it comes from learning. But that learning alone is just knowledge, and knowledge on its own, unless you put it into practice, is useless. So what? You can sit around a coffee table and talk metaphysics. Woo! Can you go out there and do the work? Is it changing your life? And that's a big difference. If you're caught up in magic that's like, oh, I'm going to change the world around me, you're caught up in a fantasy. The only thing magic can change is you. But in changing you, it changes how you relate to what's going on out there. And when you change how you relate to what's going on there, out there becomes something different. And once something out there becomes different, you've worked your magic. Yeah. But there is a real risk. And I'm jumping between two or three different things at the moment. This isn't scripted. This is literally how I'm going to do these. Um, the further down your path you go, and you can have your organized initiations, but life will throw its own initiations up, its own challenges. That's what initiation is. It's a challenge that goes boom and it changes you, it shifts you. So, you know, my overt initiation took place in a woodlands down near Brighton with some very beautiful people, and there was a fire, and it was intense, and it was very magical. I had to go drive 4 or 5 hours back up to Shropshire uh, afterwards, which was interesting. Well, I was moving house, and I had like ritual swords and stuff in the back, and as we're going past through Chipping Norton, I got stopped by the police. I was like, please don't look in the car. Please don't look in the car. But there they go. We choose to put the police in a place of authority because by giving them our power and saying, we're saying, do this thing for me. True wisdom comes when you are willing to look at yourself, good, the bad, the beautiful, and the ugly. True wisdom comes when you realize that the only true power that you have any control over, that that but it's all the power is in you. Wisdom comes from your experience. Wisdom comes with time. You don't do it's a frustration of mine. You don't do a 3 day course where you go like initiate, middle stage, now I'm a master, and become wise. If you then live those practices and teach and share and become that, embody it, somewhere along the line, maybe just before you die, you will become wise. We have flashes of wisdom and we can be inspired, and inspiration is a wisdom in itself. So back to the king. Where do you perceive wisdom? Where do you perceive power? In this dream, not only was there a shift in how I saw from prince to king to almost priest in the king, there was a shift in how I was relating to that authority. Where do I see authority? Where do I see the vessel and container that can hold my power, my wisdom, my strength? I'm not saying I'm wise. Trust me, I got very drunk last weekend. Nothing wise about that. I'm getting a bit older, so I won't lie. It's taken most of the week to get my head clear enough to kind of focus back in. And as you can tell by the way I'm jumping around a bit, I still might not actually be as integrated as I was hoping by this morning. So where are you? Where are you putting power and authority out there? And if you're a Wiccan, if you're a druid, if you're an occultist or a mystery practitioner of any sort, if you are seeing and placing wisdom and power and authority outside of you, you're handing over the container. How do how do we embody? How do we step up and become the container for our own wisdom and our own power? The magical and spiritual path invites us to shift, not just from being the person on the ground dealing with reality. It invites us to climb to the top of the tower. And from the top of the tower, we see things as they truly are. We see the whole, we see the bigger picture. Once you can see the bigger picture, you can interpret the rhythms, you can see the dynamics, the energy, how it's flowing. And when you're in that place, you don't manipulate the world. What a notion. I'm going to manipulate the universe, this huge, massive, powerful, amazing thing that can crush me like a gnat. I'm going to manipulate it. Let go of that. Rise to the top of the tower. See the bigger picture. See the way forwards. Imagine that in fact, let's do this. Let's do this. Just imagine that you've taken out a map. You lay that map all around you. And that map is the map of your life. There's stuff back there, there's stuff over there, there's stuff going on there. And because of our human vision, you can see whatever direction you're looking and a little bit to the sides. You're never seeing the full picture. Now, I don't know what that is before you. I don't know what that is behind you. I don't know what's all around you on that map, but make it three-dimensional. Because as you make it three-dimensional, not only can you only see in this much of vision, but whatever there is there before you might just be a road, but you can't necessarily see the end of it. There might be buildings. Your map might be your local town where you live, your village, maybe there's a tree in the way, and so you can't see clearly. Maybe there's a bus, maybe there's cars, maybe there's people, maybe there's the office you work, maybe there's all this stuff, but we can't see it. But this is your map. So imagine a tower rising up from where you are, all the way up. And you start to climb this tower, and it goes up, and then it turns, and then it turns, and then it turns. And for every turn, begin to notice how much higher you can rise up. Lifting up, the mind becoming lighter as you rise up. Each turn, just imagining a level of awareness and understanding higher than the other. And the thing with a tower is it's contained. Usually it has walls, otherwise it isn't holding onto the stairs very well. So at the moment you're held in, but as you get round, you start to see at the top there's a light. That's the hatch. That's the entrance to the top of the tower. So you step out onto the top of that tower. And from up here, regardless of which direction you're looking, whether you choose to face the north, the south, the east, or west, and every point in between, but as you look out, you can see the entirety of the map. You can see the pathways that may be blocked. You can see the roads that lead to nowhere and the roads that have possibilities. You may look down and see the horizon on the map and go, that's where I want to be, and that might look golden, but maybe the road to it, maybe there isn't even a road to it, but from up here now, from the top of the tower, you can see all. Magic, the mystical tradition, doesn't invite us to transform the world out there. It invites us to the top of the tower. Once you're at the top of the tower, you see clearly. You see authority for what it is. You see power for what it is. And it's not money. It's not politicians and presidents and prime ministers, and that's not power. That's transitory. It comes, it goes. From the top of this tower, you can see the eternal truths. You can see the lines of wisdom, the currents, the energies. From top of the tower, you don't need to cast a spell. From the top of the tower, you see what it is within you that is stopping you from getting money. You see what it is within you that is stopping you from finding love. You see what it is within you that's making you feel like a bad person, or whatever's going on for you that you want to change. But magic teaches us one more thing. It shows us that it is our map. And as easily as you're imagining and thinking about this now, you can change and shift. You can create that path to the future that's straighter ahead. You can you can move bits around. You can change that map. And in changing that map, you're changing how you are relating to all of this. And as you change what you're relating to in all of this, what is out there changes. Wisdom isn't authority, it isn't perceived power, and it does not come. If you're listening to authority figures and believing what they say, you are giving all your power away. So within my practice that I call Druidry, part of it comes from that. It's inspired by. But in my path, in my journey, the invitation is to rise up, climb to the top of that mountain, that tower, and see all. Not know all. If you meet someone that says they know it all, walk away. The older I get, the more I realize I know very little. And it makes me happier. I won't lie. That's what this channel's about, actually. That's what this is about being at a point where I can just share what I see from the top of the tower. And I hope that I hope you'll join me at the top of that tower. I hope you'll stay with me. This will all evolve. And as we're at the top of that tower right now, looking about, I want you to just identify something on that map that could be a little bit better. You don't have to know what that is. It doesn't have to be, oh, it's going to be this because that's that aspect of my life. Just something on that map that needs tying up. I mean, if your map looked like our town, you'd be filling in some potholes. Fill in the potholes. If a tree's fallen down, it's your map. Stand it back up. If the fish pond looks a bit dry and empty, top it up. Because magic teaches us that what happens on the inner happens on the outer. And having taken a moment just to change one thing, I don't know whether you're going to notice that shift later on today. Maybe it'll be sometime in the next few days you notice that shift, or maybe it'll be a week or so's time when you do notice something has shifted. Something in life now feels a little better. And I don't know what that is for you. But when you discover it, you begin to realize that climbing that tower, climbing the top of that mountain and seeing all, that's where true wisdom and true power lies. And it's not a power that destroys, it's a power that creates. It's a power that its sole purpose is to grow. And I hope we can grow together. Much love. Just imagine yourself coming back down that tower now, back onto your map. And it is your map, so just fold it up, place it away somewhere safe. That's it. Much love. Many, many, many blessings. And I look forward, I'm going to do these every Saturday, so I really look forward to sharing with you once a week like this. And yeah, look after yourself. Take care. Bye bye.